Well, before we talk about the Bernabeu, welcome. What happened here? What happened? I'm on vacation. Today is the start of my 1 week vacation. Vacation? I laugh at the idea because it's never truly a break. But anyway, I came to the beach for a week. And of course, I hadn't made a video since yesterday. I thought there's got to be something to talk about. And I come across, besides the thing about Bernabeu, which now well, so I'll throw that question to you guys. Let's see what you all in this community think, if you think like I do about the issue of the name on the facade. And how is that turning out? Because I've heard everything, I've heard it all, everything. Mind you, it's all very respectable, except for those who never want to respect anything and think that nothing about Madrid is up for debate. Nothing, nothing. And that if you go against the club and all that, then you are some kind of, well, a traitor and so on. I mean, you'll never see me doing that. And absolutely not with people who think differently from me. But anyway, the thing is that suddenly I come across this about Mariano. I see that he had 2 assists. He scored a great goal. The goal was spectacular, a powerful right-footed shot from outside the box, very much like the one he scored. Do you remember? Against Roma in that match, the first or second Champions League match under Lopetegui, when it seemed like everything was going smoothly, right? This guy had the audacity to wear Cristiano Ronaldo's number 7 on his back. We had signed him around August 18th, and then he arrives and scores that goal, and we say, damn, man, he's a homegrown talent, the guy, and then the years he had, right? Quique Sánchez Flores coaches him. They've beaten him and thrashed him. Hey, I swear, I didn't even remember because Madrid plays tomorrow. Well, maybe if you're watching me, if you're watching this video on Sunday, today Sunday, we'll be making a video after the match. Now, let's talk a little about the squad list, about Mourinho's list, and let's see if we can finally see some minutes for Cucurella, Diomandé, and mainly those two, right? Because it will be their debut with Real Madrid. But there's also, well, Mbappé. And he pretty much gets them all into the first team setup. Because, well, I don't see those who just arrived playing in that first match against Espanyol. But anyway, it's good for them to get some minutes already in this game against Schalke. Come on, like I said, as for Mariano, well, I hope things go really well for the kid. At Madrid, honestly, he behaved in a very strange way for a professional footballer. Hey, maybe with Quique, some things click for him, right? Quique Sánchez Flores, who is a guy I met personally, I like him a lot. He was a footballer back in the day at Real Madrid. Then it's true that he coached Atleti. He won the Europa League title with Atleti in 2011. I met him, a charming guy, and maybe with him, sometimes a footballer, no matter how rebellious or strange he is. And Mariano's career is like a Picasso. I mean, it's a really strange thing, but not because of genius, just because it's weird, right? It's a cubist story of what a footballer's professional career is supposed to be. Taking advantage of being at Real Madrid, making millions, and then doing what he did is really strange. And I think, and I hope I'm wrong because I want the kid to do well, I think what happened today is just a mirage. I don't want to make more of Mariano in this video, but it really caught my attention how surreal the start of the league has been. I mean, to see Mariano already as the first MVP, right? And I think Sevilla won by coming back in their match against Rayo in the last minutes. Well, we'll talk about the league when it starts for us, of course, and when it starts for the referees too, because there are always some shady things going on, man. A year of shady stuff already from match day 1. I remember last year when I came here on vacation in the same place where I am now, it was the Mallorca versus Barcelona match. Do you remember? When a Rayo player got hit in the head with the ball, he stayed on the ground for a while. The referee was about to blow the whistle, but in the end, he didn't. They took advantage of 8, 9, 10 seconds. The other guy shot from outside the box, goal, and that's it. It was Ferrán, right? That goal? By the way, Ferrán, the new Paris Saint-Germain player, has already said that he's there to win the Champions League and that the team, well, it's not that they guarantee it, but where he thinks he's best, that's where he'll go to win the Champions League. Since he couldn't sign for Madrid, well, it's Paris Saint-Germain, and that really bothered the Barça fans. Well, the squad list for this Sunday's Real Madrid match is as follows. I was wondering if they had actually called up Bellingham. Yes, Bellingham is there. I didn't want to say it before because I wasn't completely sure, but Bellingham is included. In the squad list, Mbappé is also included. And of course, most importantly, Jan Diamandé and Cucurella are there as well. That man who is the main figure in the poster they always put up on social media on Real Madrid's account to show us this year's squad list. I think it's nicer than on other occasions, by the way. From a format point of view, it's prettier and well. And let's see what we find in this match and if things are already running a bit more smoothly, and we'll see what he has to say afterward. Mourinho, who after every match is talking a lot and is speaking very well. And I'm referring to the formal aspect of this, well, of Real Madrid's communication, which has many departments, right? This has nothing to do with the one at the stadium, but the one at the stadium is something that helps shape Real Madrid's image. I mean, the stadium's facade and how the name appears. I mean, it was already expected, finally, the name of the stadium on the facade. We knew they were only going to put Bernabéu there and not Santiago Bernabéu. And this has upset a large part of the Real Madrid fans. Because, well, there is quite an important debate among those who believe that this added to the fact that the song Las Mocitas Madrileñas no longer plays after matches, etc. Well, it's a bit like they're taking something away from the club member, they're taking something away, or they're taking away Madrid's identity. And for the club member, being able to see themselves in Real Madrid or identify with it like they used to. Look, despite everything I had to put up with during the election campaign, no, I didn't fully believe Riquelme's message 100% in that sense either. I think what doesn't bother me so much is seeing Bernabéu there. It doesn't bother me that much. It doesn't bother me that much not hearing the Madrid girls. I mean, seeing Bernabéu there with Santiago removed, not hearing the song Las Mocitas Madrileñas. In the end, I would like it to be heard at some point. It wouldn't be bad, just to keep up with the traditions. I mean, just so that what we once had isn't lost. I love the La Décima anthem, of course, like everyone else, because it has become something universal. And every time people from outside come, because I've seen this at the Bernabéu, they start singing it and all that. Damn, that's an achievement of the current Real Madrid. That's great. But without giving up what came before, right? And I would like, yes, because I don't really see it as a betrayal of the club members, honestly. And also, not just the fact that it only says Bernabéu there. Let's see, I don't think it needs to be explained. From a marketing and commercial point of view, even we say we're going to the Bernabéu, we don't say we are going to the Santiago Bernabéu. Sometimes we do, but normally we just say we're going to the Bernabéu. Just seeing Bernabéu there, because from that more marketing-oriented point of view, it's easier to remember one name than two. And okay, well, that's understandable. Now, what I would like is for the club to explain it, right? For them to give some explanation about this at some point, right? For them to tell us why they are doing this, or at least to announce it to us, right? In fact, it would be even better to actually hold maybe a referendum. Look, Atletico de Madrid did it with something I didn't understand because I really didn't get it there, although they must have their reasons, which was about the crest. For me, the last crest of Atletico de Madrid, now they've changed it back to the previous one, right? To the classic one. For me, the one they made afterwards, which had only two colors, three, blue, red, and white, I like that one more. But of course, I'm not an Atleti fan. I'm not a fan of the Madroño the way it is now, which was also how it was before. Well, it's just something I didn't appreciate. To me, it seemed like a more recognizable, more memorable logo, more than a crest, more like a logo in that second form. And it's not like I care much about Atleti either. I mean, it's just always been that way, right? I've never liked Barça, but Atleti, lately, since they dislike us so much, I've started disliking them too. I wonder why they're holding a referendum on that and why they picked the ugliest crest. But hey, they had their reasons. They held a referendum and the previous one won. I think Real Madrid avoids it because the previous one would win, which is why they don't do it. It would be nicer if they ask and all that. Of course, that would give the member the feeling that they are taken into account a little more. Of course, but I think they don't do it because they wouldn't be able to push all this through. And surely Florentino, who a very high percentage of the time is ahead of all of us on a lot of issues, maybe not on others, I think that in football, he believes he knows a lot. And besides, people have always said this, right? That to those around him, he says, you don't have a damn clue. Let me handle this. I know about this. Well, in some things, honestly, I think that despite having won Champions Leagues in recent years and all that, he might actually be hurting us. Like in the last 3 years, or especially in the last 2 years, since two real masterminds from the midfield left, they haven't been replaced. I don't know if that's ultimately the responsibility of Florentino Perez, which I think it is, because he believes that Valverde can do what Kroos did and Camavinga can do what Modric did. I think he might have reconsidered by now, although judging by what we've seen this summer, not so much. Still, he wanted Rodri. That means maybe he had changed his mind. The idea, but if in the end they don't sign anyone for that position, I think he'll stick to his guns. But anyway, in football terms, I think he should get better advice. In marketing, in economics, in finance, he once told Tomás Roncelo, that's why I'm Real Madrid's president and you are not. You are a fanatic. Well, it's a good thing that Florentino Perez has guided our destiny, the club's destiny, so that we are where we are now, right? He'll probably say, if I let everyone who doesn't know about this vote, things will just go back to how they were. So what's the point? I mean, I'm trying to get into the mind of, I was going to say the club's leaders, but really the main leader of the club, which is Florentino Perez. And you see, this is how it is. Hey, they're saying this is how it's going to be. But some people have said, no, this is going to be, well, this was the render. Remember this was the render. Santiago Bernabéu Stadium. When they presented the project to us digitally, this is what we saw. From that to what it ended up being, well, just Bernabéu, it's not the same. But hey, I'm not making a big deal out of it either. They say it's going to be this, that it won't be the Real Madrid Crest. Let's see if it shows up because I'm having internet problems here. Let's see if the photo loads, man. I'm at the beach. Come on, it's going to load. This is like the internet back in 96, 97 when we all started. Same thing. And I hope I'm being heard clearly. They say they are going to put the logo on top. The logo is kind of like the Bernabéu logo on top of the wall Bernabéu, which is kind of like an abstraction of the stadium. So an abstraction of the stadium on top of the stadium? I don't think so. Some people say they are going to put it. They're saying no, that only the name will go and that the crest won't go either. The Real Madrid crest won't be there, only the name, to make it, well, minimalist, right? Simple, minimaliste. And I wonder, which I don't think is a bad thing either, would I like to see the Real Madrid crest? Of course. But, well, would I understand the stadium logo on the stadium, which is an abstract representation of what the stadium is? It doesn't make sense. I don't think so. That's something I really wouldn't like. But then there's the lights. The lights. When are we getting the lights? When? I think it's something that should have happened already, right? They've done tests and all that. I don't know. It should have happened already. Share your thoughts in the comments, and here's a quick reflection for those who hesitate to let go of that image. What if it isn't real? Let's leave this one, which is the one we have for now, which is this version of the Bernabéu, just with the name. This reflection that I've heard, I read a tweet from Maria about how she doesn't like this because they had also taken away the previous anthem from us, etc. Which I think is a very respectable opinion. And now here come the stingy ones, super stingy ones, and the purists, right? Well, not anymore. The purists, the ones who act like they get to decide who's a Real Madridista, we already know all of them. That either you have the same opinion as the club and act within the club, in fact, or you don't have the right to have an opinion, right? There's been a witch hunt here for a long time, and I've been the first to suffer from it. That's why I used to argue with Maria and others who disagree, though they're within their rights. I'm not really with them on that point. I don't really care, but I defend the right to have an opinion and to criticize it. Of course, I don't know. Leave me your thoughts in the comments. Have a great day. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to the channel, comment, share, hype up the video. It really helps. See you in the next one. Bye.